All right, thank you for joining me. So, in this episode, I'll be talking about the fact that many a times man sabotages himself, which is trying to say that so many times there are so many things that we could do or that we can do, but we fail to do them or we don't do them because we sabotage ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We don't assign ourselves that value that we have because we think that maybe someone else is better than us. We suddenly or kind of think that we are not worth it. All those kind of thoughts that come up when you start devaluing yourself, and that is actually a very big thing. So like a lot of times there are things you want to do that you like to do or not, and then somewhere along the line you start feeling like you are not capable, you start feeling like you are not qualified to do that thing. And why do you feel that? The reason why you are feeling that is because there is a gap in between when you thought of what you want to do and when you want to actually start doing that thing. Now when there is a gap in between your thoughts and your action, of course, there will always be a gap, but when there is a big gap between that, it can actually give space for something else to come in, and that is when doubts can come in. Because within that space of time that you have given, you will eventually see someone else that has actually gone further in that same space. And because you see them, you start comparing yourself. And comparison, is something that is very, very bad. But when you see that, you kind of start feeling like, oh, this guy is actually the benchmark, or this is the way it should be done, this is the standard, and I don't have that standard, I don't meet that standard. And you will not meet that standard because you have not started. You can't just start overnight and then become like Joe Rogan in podcast. You can't start overnight and become popular like Tucker Carlson, or all these very big guys on the internet or on the media spaces and everything like that. It's going to take time. You can't start playing basketball today and start measuring up to Michael Jordan. But when you look at those people when you are starting, you will feel defeated, defeated on arrival, because you feel like, oh, I can do what this guy is doing. I can't even do half of what he's doing. So that means I'm not qualified to be in this field. So eventually it starts degrading you, and then you start sabotaging what you could have done. But the thing is that, take for example, you want to start a podcast like this. I believe you listening to this podcast, there is this thing in you that you also want to see. There is a value in you that you want to give out, that you have a creative ability in you. We are all born creatives, whether you like it or not. You have creativity in you. It just depends on if you decide to harness it. Now, if you're listening to this and be like, oh yes, I can do the same thing. Now, don't even bat an eye to think that, oh, this guy speaks faster than me. Oh, this guy generates ideas faster than me. Or this guy is able to speak without a script for a long time, and I can't do those things. And then for that reason, you begin to dump yourself down and be like, I can't do this shit. Maybe I should just look for something else. Maybe I should just get my job, continue to go to my job and live my life and not try to be a creative. No. Once you have that idea, there's this thing I believe personally, this coming on the personal realm, that if you have the idea, it means that there's something in you that means that you can do that. There was this particular post I put out one time, the episode I put out one time about Van Gogh said that if you, I'm just paraphrasing kind of, but it's still within the context of, just like if you desire to paint, there's something in you that really knows that you can paint. Don't let any other thing deceive you. Don't let any other thing distract you to start feeling like maybe you cannot paint. If you have that desire in you to paint, it means that there is a creative part in you that can actually paint. That was why you actually came up with that intention. That was why you actually dreamt of it. That was why you actually thought of it. If there was nothing like that in you, you might not have thought of it. It now depends on you if you are going to actually explore it or not. Now, and I'm saying this very cautiously because of the wokeness that we have right now in the world, the whole gender thing, which I don't want to go into right now, but maybe I'll talk something about that in an episode. So, but the thing is that if you have that creative ability in you, you will see it when you see it. You recognize it when you see it, and you feel it when you see it, and you feel like you can actually do the same thing. Now, when you feel like you can do the same thing, it means that you can actually do it. It now depends on you if you decide to explore that. So if you feel you can do something, don't sabotage yourself and start dumping yourself down. There's a lot of space for everybody to succeed. And some people also, they might know something they want to do, they feel they can do better, but they feel like, oh, if I do it, oh, what about this person doing it? I'm going to knock this one out. And they don't want that person to feel bad, or they don't want to show their skill because they feel like people are going to feel overwhelmed, or people are going to feel subdued. Oh no, there's space for everybody to do what they want to do. Of course, creatively. Something that is creative that can have great impact in the world. If you have to do it, if you want to do it, go do it. Don't hold back. Don't dump yourself down. Dumping yourself down means you are robbing yourself of that impact that you're supposed to have in the world. And you are robbing the world of the enjoyment that you're supposed to get from listening to you, from enjoying the value that you create, from benefiting from the impact that has been implanted in you. If you hold back, if you dumb yourself down, if you sabotage yourself by feeling like you are not worthy, just because you saw someone that has been in the game for the past 27 years, just like watching Andrew Huberman episode on YouTube, and then suddenly you feel like, oh, I shouldn't talk anything about health, wellness, fitness, or anything. I shouldn't talk about that because I don't have so much knowledge as Andrew Huberman. Or you listen to Jordan Peterson and you be like, oh, human psychology and all those things like that. I don't have so much knowledge as him, so I can't say anything about that. No, those guys have been at it for ages, and that is why they are so sharp and articulate like that. But you are just getting started. You're going to have mess ups. You're going to have things that will not work out for you. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but it's all fine. But when you look at it, when you compare yourself on the scale of time and time and age and things like that, you realize that when you get to that level that they've gotten to right now, you will also be as sharp, maybe even sharper than them, because now you're not just learning, you're not just moving from what you know personally, you're not just moving from your intuition, you're also moving because you are learning from them. So you are adding your own personal intuition, your own personal creativity, plus the knowledge you are getting from them, who you are afraid of right now, and from other people as well. That means when you get to their level, in terms of ages, the hours that they spend to get to there, when you get to that level, you will actually surpass them, given what you now know and what they knew when they were at your age or at your own level. So that means if you actually put in the time, put in the work, and keep courage up, you are going to be better, and possibly better than those people that you are afraid of right now, that's making you to dumb yourself down and sabotage yourself. So don't sabotage yourself, because we have that ability to do that all the time. I do that myself. I will take myself out of the equation. I've had issues where I have to dumb myself down, but right now I'm also realizing that, oh shit, I shouldn't have done what I did there. I shouldn't have held back. I should have just answered the particular question. There was this group I was in one time. I think when I was in school, I had this internship, and there was this gathering we had, and like gathering of the staffs, and they asked one particular question. It was like more like a night hangout or something like that. And then the tech guys, they're asking questions, and we are giving out things, handing out flash drives, back in the days. And they asked a particular question, and a lot of big staff, managers, and everything, they couldn't answer the question at the time. I don't know, maybe they knew it. They don't want to say something about it, but I actually knew what the guy was asking. I've used that several times, and I know very much how to use it and work around it, but I just couldn't answer the question. I was feeling like, oh, if I should answer this question right now, what would the talk be about? These big managers and senior managers around me couldn't answer that question, and then just ordinary intern student is answering that kind of question. So I had to just keep quiet and let someone eventually said something about that, and the person received that gift. But thinking about it now, I'd be like, wow, this is me actually sabotaging myself and dumbing myself down. Even when I knew what I could say, immediately the question was coming up, I already know what it was. I already know the answer, but I just didn't say it because I was kind of feeling, oh no, let me not act like I am too smart than those over here. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If you have it in you, give it out. If you know the answer, say it. If you can express yourself in such a good way, say it. If you know the solution to something, say it. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid that because you said it, someone else is going to feel bad or whatever. Yes, they might feel, if they have, if they are ego-driven, they might feel hurt in whatever way, but it's just a matter of time. They're going to come off it and actually learn. If they don't know it, they will learn from you. And that keeps the world going around. So that is it about sabotaging. And I do hope that this helps someone out there. Let me know what you think about this sabotage issue. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next one.